The concept of free time as we know it today didn't exist for our prehistoric ancestors. Every moment was potentially a matter of survival. But here's what might surprise you. Even in the harsh reality of the Paleolithic, humans did have moments when immediate survival tasks were complete, and what they chose to do with those moments reveals something profound about human nature itself. If you're curious about how our ancestors really lived, smash that subscribe button right now. We're just starting this channel, and we need your support to. Also, drop a comment telling us the city you're watching from. We love to see how far these stories travel. Picture this. It's midday, the hunting party has returned successful, the gathered plants are sorted and stored, tools are maintained, and the fire is burning steadily. The immediate needs are met. The group finds itself in one of those rare pockets of time when survival isn't screaming for attention. So what did they do? Archaeological evidence shows us that prehistoric humans engaged in activities that went far beyond basic needs, revealing minds that were creative, social, and surprisingly sophisticated. Around the fire, elders would recount tales of great hunts, dangerous encounters, or explain the mysteries of the natural world. These weren't just entertainment, they were education, cultural transmission, and social bonding all rolled into one. Children learned about animal behavior, weather patterns, and group history through these stories. But the archaeological record suggests these tales weren't just practical. Some seem to have been purely for enjoyment, early forms of entertainment that sparked imagination and wonder. Art was another significant activity. When we look at cave paintings like those at Lascaux or Altamira, we see more than just records of daily life. We see evidence of humans who, when their bellies were full and their immediate needs met, chose to create. Hand stencils blown onto cave walls, intricate animal drawing, abstract symbols that we still can't fully decode. These weren't survival tools, they were expressions of something deeper. Prehistoric humans carved intricate patterns into bone, antler, and stone. They created small figurines, some realistic, others abstract. They made jewelry from shells, teeth, and stones, often carrying these ornaments over vast distances. This wasn't vanity, it was identity, status, and perhaps the very beginning of personal expression. Imagine the scene. The day's work done. The group gathered around the fire, someone pulling out a bone flute and filling the air with melody. Archaeological evidence suggests they also used percussion instruments, possibly drums made from animal hide stretched over wooden frame. These musical gatherings likely involved dancing. While we can't find fossilized dances, we can see evidence in worn areas of cave floors and artistic depictions that suggest rhythmic movement was part of prehistoric life. Dancing would have been physical expression, social bonding, and perhaps spiritual ritual all combined. These weren't just children's toys. Adults participated too. Games taught strategy, probability, and social skill. They were mental exercises that kept minds sharp during periods of relative safety. Prehistoric humans made combs from bone, created pigments for body painting, and spent time on elaborate hair arrangements. They pierced ears and possibly other body parts for decoration. This wasn't just cleanliness. It was social signaling, attraction, and individual expression. Tool making often continued during free time, but not just for necessity. Prehistoric humans created tools that were far more elaborate, required for function alone. They made beautiful, symmetrical hand axes that were clearly crafted with aesthetic consideration. They decorated practical items with intricate pattern. This suggests that even utilitarian objects were opportunities for creative expression. This wasn't just hygiene, it was social bonding that strengthened group cohesion. These intimate moments of care built the trust necessary for group survival. Small groups would venture out not because they needed food or materials, but seemingly out of curiosity. They mapped their territory, investigated new areas, and collected interesting objects. This exploration often led to discoveries of new food sources, tool material, or safer camping spots. Teaching and learning consumed significant time. Skilled individuals would spend hours showing others how to knapp stone tools, identify edible plants, or track animals. This knowledge transfer was crucial for group survival, but it also seems to have been genuinely enjoyable for both teachers and students. They arranged their living spaces with care, creating comfortable sleeping, organizing tool storage, and even bringing in aesthetically pleasing objects like interesting rocks or shells. Some cave sites show evidence of deliberate arrangement that goes beyond mere function. Perhaps most remarkably, they seem to engage in activities that were purely contemplative. Evidence suggests they would sit in elevated locations, possibly just observing the landscape, watching animals, or thinking. These moments of quiet reflection might have been when they developed their understanding of natural patterns, seasonal changes, and animal behavior. Recent research suggests that prehistoric humans didn't just tell stories, they were master performers. Archaeological evidence from sites like Kafsa Cave in Israel shows that storytelling areas were carefully chosen for their acoustic properties. The placement of fires, the arrangement of seating areas, even the selection of cave chambers all seem designed to enhance the storytelling experience. These weren't casual conversations. They were theatrical performances that could last for hours. The stories themselves were incredibly sophisticated. While we can't know their exact content, ethnographic studies of modern hunter-gatherer societies give us clues. These tales likely included complex narratives about ancestral heroes, creation myths, moral lessons, and detailed accounts of the natural world. Some stories were probably reserved for specific audiences, certain tales only for adults, others only for initiated members of the group. This suggests a rich oral tradition with layers of meaning and social significance. Evidence from sites across Europe shows that prehistoric humans created what we might call art studios, specific areas where pigments were prepared, tools were crafted, and artistic work was done. They developed sophisticated techniques for creating different colors, mixing ochre with animal fat, charcoal with plant juices, and even experimenting with different binding agents to make their pigments last longer. Brushes made from animal hair, hollow bones used as paint tube, and even primitive airbrushes created by blowing pigment through hollow reeds. Some cave paintings show evidence of scaffolding systems, suggesting that artists climbed significant heights to create their masterpieces. This wasn't spontaneous doodling, it was planned, skilled artistic production. Beyond the famous bone flutes, archaeologists have found evidence of other instruments, whistles made from bird bones, percussion instruments from hollow logs, and even what appears to be early forms of string instruments using animal sinew. The complexity of some bone flutes suggests that prehistoric humans understood musical scales and could create harmonious melody. Cave formations with exceptional acoustics were often decorated with handprints and painting, suggesting these locations were chosen specifically for their sound property. Some researchers believe these caves were used for group singing or chanting, activities that would have strengthened social bonds and possibly served spiritual purposes. Archaeological sites have yielded game boards with intricate patterns, suggesting games with sophisticated rules. Some of these games appear to have been used for more than entertainment. They may have been educational tools for teaching hunting strategies, territorial knowledge, or social hierarchy. The complexity of some game pieces suggests that certain games required significant skill and practice to master. Beads were carefully crafted from shells, stones, and bones, often requiring hours of drilling and polishing. The patterns and arrangements of these ornaments suggest they carried meaning, possibly indicating social status, group membership, or personal achievements. Body painting was another sophisticated art form. Evidence from ochre deposits and staining patterns on tools suggests that prehistoric humans created complex body design. These weren't just random decorations. They likely served multiple purposes: camouflage for hunting, protection from insects, social signaling, and spiritual or ceremonial purposes. Archaeological evidence shows that prehistoric humans created tools that were far more elaborate than necessary for their basic purpose. Symmetrical hand axes with perfect proportions, decorated spear points, and intricately carved handles all suggest that aesthetics mattered to these early humans. They took pride in their craftsmanship and used these objects as expressions of individual skill and creativity. Evidence suggests that prehistoric humans spent considerable time on elaborate hair arrangements, possibly using plant-based styling products and decorative accessories. These grooming sessions weren't just about cleanliness. They were social bonding activities that reinforced group hierarchy and relationships. Prehistoric humans collected interesting objects from their travels: unusual stone, shells from distant coasts, and rare minerals. These collections weren't just practical, they suggest an appreciation for beauty and rarity that goes beyond survival needs. Some individuals seem to have specialized in long-distance travel, bringing back exotic materials and probably stories of distant places. Evidence suggests that prehistoric humans engaged in what we might call philosophical discussion. They developed sophisticated understanding of astronomy, creating lunar calendars, and possibly tracking stellar movement. They had complex knowledge of animal behavior that went far beyond what was necessary for hunting. This suggests they were genuinely curious about the world around them and spent time pondering questions that had no immediate survival. The arrangement of living spaces shows aesthetic sensibilities that surprise many researchers. Prehistoric humans didn't just create functional camps. They created they arranged stones in pleasing patterns, positioned sleeping areas to take advantage of natural beauty, and sometimes brought in flowers or aromatic plants purely for their sensory. This attention to aesthetics in everyday life suggests a deep appreciation for beauty and comfort. Weather also played a significant role in shaping leisure activity. During harsh winters, when outdoor activities were limited, prehistoric humans seem to have engaged in intensive indoor activity. This is when much of the intricate tool decoration was done, when complex storytelling sessions took place, and when elaborate games were. These winter activities weren't just ways to pass time, they were crucial for maintaining group cohesion during stressful periods. The relationship between work and leisure was fluid. What we might consider free time activities often had practical benefits, but the way prehistoric humans approached them suggests they found genuine enjoyment in the process. They weren't just surviving, they were living. When storms kept them sheltered, when winter limited outdoor activities, when illness or injury kept individuals close to camp, these leisure activities became even more important. They maintained social bonds, passed the time, and kept minds and hands occupied. It's important to note that these activities weren't equally available to all members of the age, health, social status, and immediate responsibilities all influenced how much and what kind of free time individuals had. But the archaeological record suggests that even in the most challenging circumstances, humans found ways to express creativity, maintain social connections, and engage in activities that went beyond mere survival. The sophistication of these activities reveals something profound about human nature. Even 40,000 years ago, when life was undeniably harsh and survival was never guaranteed, humans still felt the need to play, to express themselves, and to find meaning beyond just staying alive. They weren't just surviving, they were being human. They remind us that the drive to create, to connect, and to find meaning isn't a luxury that came with civilization. It's been part of human nature from the very beginning. We're exploring the hidden depths of prehistoric life, revealing that our ancestors were far more complex and human than we often imagine. Like this video, share it with someone who'd find it interesting, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.